Now, let's also discuss the setup of our Linux Splunk instances in the environment. So as we've already highlighted, these are going to be virtual machines in Azure Cloud. So basically, we are going to spin up Azure virtual machines that are based on Ubuntu Linux, and then we are going to install Splunk on those machines. So what you see here on the screen is just a snapshot from my Azure portal. So my Azure account, and that's what we are going to be using for the exercises in this course. You see on the top section there, that is where we have all our virtual machines that we are going to create and install Splunk on. For your case, basically, we are going to create. For my case, they are already existing, but of course, I'm going to do a demonstration of how you can set up these machines so that you can also do it on your own environment. And then if you click on one of those machines, you are going to see the overview screen that you see here below, which shows you, of course, details of that specific virtual machine. Now, let's see how we're going to work with this. The first two are our Linux indexes that we saw, before. So we are going to set up both indexes before the second module of the course. So just the same as we did with, our Windows indexer, we're going to have to set up both the Linux indexes before we go to the second module of the course. And again, I'm going to perform a demonstration for you to be able to do this. And then as for the one universal forwarder that we have, we are not going to set it now because at some point in the course, we are going to demonstrate how you can set up a universal forwarder on Linux. That is exactly the same case for the heavy forwarder. So we are not going to set up our heavy forwarder now. We are going to wait until at some point in the course when we come to heavy forwarders, we are going to see how to set that up. Now, one of the very important things after you set up your virtual machines is that you have to allow inbound connections because these are not available by default. So you spin up a virtual machine, you have a public IP address, you want to connect to it, maybe using SSH. But if the port for SSH is not allowed on the inbound security groups for that machine, that is not going to be possible. So it's just like consider that you are the machine. You have to say that I'm allowing connection for this kind of protocol to come into me. I'm allowing connection for this kind of protocol to come into me. And the way that you configure that with these virtual machines is for you to configure security groups. So let's look at some of the important ports that we are going to touch on basically during our configurations. So the first one here is port 22. So this is the SSH port. It's going to allow us to be able to connect to our virtual machines using SSH clients like say Porty, like, Secure CRT, like Mobile Xterm, which is the one that we are going to be using. The next one here is port 8000. So port 8000 is used for Splunk Web User Interface by default, as we saw before. So if you don't allow that port, you're not going to be able to connect to Splunk Web if you install Splunk on that virtual machine. The next one here, port 389, which is for LDAP. So as part of this course, we are going to discuss Splunk authentication management, and then we are going to see LDAP configuration. So this is going to be very important. And then, of course, we have the default port 9997, which is being used, for that data, that is coming from forwarders and getting indexed in Splunk. And then we have the Splunk management port, which is port 8089. We're going to see how to use this maybe when we talk about license management and forwarder management. And another port here is default port 8088, which is used for the HTTP event collector and is one of the agentless inputs that we are going to discuss as part of this course. Now, once we spin up our virtual machine in Azure Cloud, what is the next thing that we have to do? Basically, we need to install Splunk on these machines, and then we are going to see all the configurations that we'll be performing along this course using that Splunk instance. But in order to install Splunk, we need to be able to connect to that machine. And the way that we are going to be connected to that machine is by using SSH. So we use the SSH protocol to be able to connect and manage that machine. So once we establish that SSH connection, then we are going to be able to use it to install Splunk and to perform all the configurations that we are going to see along the course. Now, in order to establish an SSH connection, obviously you're going to need an SSH client. So there are many SSH clients out there. I cited 3 examples like PODI, like Secure CRT, like Mobile Xterm, and others. But the one that we are going to be using in this course is Mobile Xterm. Does that stop you from using any other SSH client? Of course not. So if you have your SSH client of choice, you can use that and it's going to establish that connection for you as well. So basically here, we are going to create a session name. So when we establish our connection for our first indexer, we are going to be using the session name mysplunk-indexer1_VM. That is the session name that I have been using. But of course, you can give a different session name if you also want to just follow exactly what I did, so that maybe the exercises should be easier for you to understand. You can do that. But as well, it doesn't stop you from using another name. And then now, as we've seen, we are going to be using the Mobile Xterm as our SSH client. Again, note one thing that we just said in the previous slide is that before you establish this connection, you need to make sure that port 22 is allowed on the security groups for your virtual machine. So we are going to do the same thing for our second indexer. This time we are going to call the session mysplunk-indexer2_VM. I'm going to show you the screenshot of that during the demonstrations. And then of course, as we've said, our SSH client is Mobile Xterm. For our second universal forwarder, which is on Linux, we're going to establish a connection to. We just call that mysplunk universal forwarder. And then the final one is our heavy forwarder, which we are just going to call mysplunk heavy forwarder.